see it a little bit better? So it was gray and white. It was using all of the technology it had at the time, which was probably text that needed to be put into some structure and printed out. So we definitely see that here. We see the lines top and bottom, and that was likely the lines that were in the press. And then in 1892, it got a little more decorative. And by then, they were doing some other types of printing. And so then you had black and white here. And you can see that they started to bring in some of the little arches and the waves, and that they were work clothes, right? Quality clothing, things that you could work in. And then in 1925, they did a major rebrand and went to uh, a bright red and mellow background. So that's kind of a huge difference you see from one to the next one. And then in 1929, they changed it again, and we saw a different kind of font come in. So they were, growing as the fonts were coming out, as the graphics were happening in the world. They were changing to match not only what they were doing, but also what the world was relating to. And you'll see that as we continue on. 1943, they changed it again to black and yellow. Oh, they had blue, red, and white in 29. In 43, it was the black and the yellow. Looks like there's maybe blue or gray. I'm not sure. And then where there's work to be done, wear Levi's. So they're back to the working ethic that we saw over here with this quality clothing and the workhorses, right? Because that's basically telling you in visuals rather than words that there's work, that these are working jeans. And then here they're actually bringing it in with the words. So that is like the difference between. Okay. So then in 1954, we're starting to get a little bit closer to the logo that I would have been a little more, well, not quite yet. This would have been a little before. I was 62, I was born. So this would have been there, but I wouldn't have really known it. Right. And so vintage clothing by that time, they'd been around for how many years? They'd been around from 1853 to 1954. So that's 100 years. So yeah, they're saying, hey, we got vintage clothing here. And by then they had the Levi's registered. That looks like that's when they first registered the Levi's. Okay. And then we get over to 69, and this is definitely the logo that I knew, and then the current logo. And the current logo has changed just a little bit. The font's a little bit smaller, and it's just a little bit bolder, but not significantly different. So that is the evolution of a brand. And if we scroll back out and kind of look at all of these, you can see that the look and feel has changed a little bit over the years. And so that's what we're talking about today is the change in feel. And when I go back out, it looks like this Levi's yellow one is probably a blue and yellow. Kind of hard to tell on here. So we're going to go over to Canva, and we're going to look at some different looks and feels and talk about that just a little bit. Because in addition to, I want the Canva one to be showing. So I'm going to change and do a new share, I guess. They used to have it so I could just keep sharing and go to a different tab, but that's not seeming to be the way today. Okay, so here we go. I am now sharing this one. And if we go down and we look at, I was doing a friend of mine's logo. We were working on some different styles. So picking a style there. But even the looks and feels of like the colors as you're going through and we're scrolling down, you can kind of get an idea of a quick, what's drawn, what draws your attention in, what is it about things that you really like. The current logo that I'm using for the Clubhouse Mechanic has a bright yellow background instead of this purple on purple. I've actually gone to a bright yellow one. So I wonder if I can find that in here. So let me do my logo here, but I don't know if I'm going to find it. No, I'm not. Okay. No, I didn't have this. As you guys know, we do in the moment and we talk to the people in the room and then we kind of answer a question and go from there. And our demo becomes that for the day. So this is what we were talking about. I'm going to go ahead and create a design and I'll do it as a logo. I want to basically see what comes up over here on the left-hand side for the templates. That's more what we're going to look at today rather than actually creating the logo. We're going to look at these looks and feels of these different templates. So let me see if I can scroll in here a bit so we can look at it. So if you look at this text space here, it's black in the background. It's got the blues in front. It's very striking. King Coffee is kind of a cute little thing, and it's got, you know, homey. So I would love for, and then you've got your salon and your spa, very light text so that draws people in, and even light graphic here with a very light background. It's very soothing and very calming. So it really depends on like what are you trying to bring across. Sure, go ahead. Who has a question or a comment?
I don't know if it's the delay, but I am not seeing what you're describing.
Okay. It may be the delay. Let me see. Nope, it is not the delay. It is me. I changed to a different, it opened it in a new thing. So let me.
Elizabeth, can you?
And this is why I have her there to help when I am explaining something and it's not coming across. So let me do another screen share. It used to allow me to change from one tab to the other, which I loved. And now it's not. Okay. So now there should be a 2 or 3 second delay and I will back on up to the top and say what I just said again. Okay. So hopefully we're at where you can see the text space.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Okay. So the text space, as I said, was dark background with a striking blue and a lighter blue. And this one here, though, I would say that this is really hard to read. And so I would definitely change it up if I was going to. So let's grab that one. And I'm just going to pop it over there and then we'll go look at that in a minute. Let me go through a few more of these. So this was the one I was talking about, the King Coffee, Coffee and Tea. It's just kind of got a cute little guy in here. So, you know, kind of homey and fun. And then here's the Salon and Spa with the lighter text and the finer graphic, the lighter background, which is saying, relax, just relax. So if we go down a bit, we can see, and we have like 2 different options with this one. I'm just letting it scroll through. So you have even a different look and feel depending on if you've got light on black and black on white. So you want to kind of have an idea of where you're going to use this. And then are you going to have something that carries that feel through? And you can change the feel of something just by changing the text, by changing the color, or by changing the graphics that you're using within the logos. So we'll just talk logos today, but it's the same thing. If you're going to create a template that you're going to use for your social media, you'll want to have that complement your logo, but contrasted enough so that you can pop your logo on there and see it. You might want to have a light logo and a dark logo so that you can go ahead and put it on there and see both of those. Okay, so now let's pop on over here where I put this text space in here, and let's just change the whole look and feel of this text space. I'm going to copy the page so that we're not playing with the original so that we can see the difference here. All right, so I'm going to go on in here and I'm just going to change I need to make it, oops, I need to not make it smaller. What do I need to do here? Let me go like this. Let me go like this. Oops, that didn't work. Okay, I'm trying to get so I can see there it is. Interesting. I want the whole, there we go, the whole page to go smaller. There we go. And then I want this stuff to go larger. I got it. So, okay. So there's a learning in here. If you are doing something and you're trying to see something better, you can go up into this menu area here and enlarge the whole page. That enlarges everything. Or if you get down in here where the graphics are, you can actually, and I'm just doing a pinch and drag on a trackpad on a Mac. Okay, so now I can kind of move this around and we can see the difference. I can close this up if we wanted to so that we're not distracted by that. Okay, we're going to leave this top one just as it is, and then we're going to go down here and play with this and just show you how we can quickly change the feel of this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and change the background color. Let's change it to my live online learning or my becoming. Let's change it to the live online learning. So let me go in here to live online learning, which has very bold colors. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and change it. I'm going to go with the background there being the green. So you've already chosen your colors. Now you can come in here and you can play with the graphics this way. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and change this space. Okay, we're going to go with, I'm going to go with the darker and channel. And I'm going to go with, I think we'll go with that darker too. Are these grouped? No. Doesn't look like I can get into channel. Oh, let me move that back. Position. Oh, it isn't. Okay, so it looks like this blue here is not changeable, but the other pieces are. There's just two colors changeable. Not sure why. Sometimes they give you the opportunity to change things. Sometimes they don't. Okay, so now if we look at this text space and this text space, they definitely have a little bit different feel just because of the colors. Now let's look at if we go ahead and change this font. And we're going to go with something like this, which is bringing a lightness to it. And then I want to bring a little fun into it. So I will go add. Da 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 da. No. Sometimes you put things up and you're like immediately, oh, no, definitely not. Here we go. Yeah, channel. Okay. So now when we look at this compared to the one above, you can tell that it's just a completely different feel to both of these with the whole colors. So now let's look at what we would do if we were going to create a template for one of these to show you what I mean by, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this page again so that we can go ahead and have these colors. And then I'm going to go ahead and make this into a template. So I'm going to, we want our logo to stay in here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this logo up into the corner, make it smaller. So if we were creating this for someone's Instagram page, they would have their logo would happen in all of their pictures by either putting it in, one of the corners. Choose a corner, choose a corner, choose a corner. And then this text space, I'm going to take this out because we don't actually need the words right now as they are there. But I'm going to go ahead and leave. I'm going to take the channel out and I'm going to go ahead and leave this one And this is going to become the quote text. Goes here, right? So you'd have the quote text going there. And then I'm going to go ahead and go into elements. And since this is such a bold color, I'm going to go ahead and add a shape over it. And I'm going to make it another color. And I'm going to fill the spot in the middle that is the highlighted area. So as soon as I come over, it highlights. I'm going to make the box the same size as kind of the text area. Okay, then I'm going to position that backwards. Okay, and now you see that this is kind of difficult to see in there. So you can either make it smaller or you could put some kind of a background on there to make it come on out. So let's go over and find a banner in black. See what we can find here. And I'll pull over something like this. Okay, and I'm just going to pop that up here. And then we're going to push it to the back. Position it backward. So it's behind this. And then that way that's showing up. And we kind of added a little, variety here to this item. Okay, I'm just moving it around by using my up and down arrows to get it into a position that I like, kind of what it's doing. I know I'm supposed to be in the live online learning. I'm there. I'm already there. My alarm just went off. Too funny. I guess I need to reset my time. Okay, and then let's add some texture to this background. So I'm going to go to backgrounds. I believe there's one that's backgrounds, isn't there, guys? Da, 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 da. How do you guys find your way through this menu list? Do you scroll? Do you do a search? Help me out, dudes.
I'm a searcher.
Where do you search for it?
I just type it in that little white box up there next to the little search thing.
If you do it there, though, is it just doing it within the elements? I think you're staying in elements. I thought there was like a whole thing that was background. So it's staying in elements.
It very well could be.
Yeah.
Remember, I'm still new to Canva.
Yeah. That's all right. We'll go with it. Okay, so I'm going to find some kind of a background that's got a little texture in it. I'm going to pull it over. And it replaced it. And you can see it instantly changes the feel of this. Let me plus this so that you can see. If you pull this over, you're going to instantly change the feel of that. So I'm going to undo that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on it. So rather than pull it over and have it do that, I'm going to tap on it just once. So now I'm kind of liking, adding this kind of texture here in the middle. But I wonder what would happen if we added it to the whole thing. So I'm going to add the texture to the whole thing. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the texture let go. Let go. Just going over the edges of it to make sure it's encompassing all of it. Okay, so when I did that, it automatically put it into the background. As soon as you saw it go, I'm going to undo that so that it's not, oops, wait a minute. Yeah, because it should have stayed on top. Okay, so let me try that again. So I'm going to go make it bigger. I don't want it to actually become the background. So if I pull this down and the blue shows on top, yeah. So that blue showed on top. So I know that it took it and it created it into the background. So I'm just going to undo one time. And what that does is it brings it back to the forefront and it makes it so that it's a very movable item. And now what I want to do is click on it because I'm going to go ahead and take that transparency down. So we're basically adding some texture to it without having to redesign the whole thing. Okay, and now we can go ahead and bring this, oops, I'm going to undo again because it did that again. It put it there. I don't want it to do that, so I just undo. I guess I can lock the background. Is that what I needed to do? Tiggs, I don't know if Tiggs, oh, Tiggs is gone. See, I knew if Tiggs was here, he'd have been helping me. Okay, so you can lock the background. You can lock the position of it. And I am still learning a little bit of this too, y'all, as you can see. All right, so I want to position this just backwards once because I want to, I'm going 3 back. Oops, nope, too far. Forward. Okay. This, yeah, see, I don't want it to do that. I'm going to move that out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and grab this background here and I'm going to click the lock. I think that's how you do it, y'alls. So now I'm going to go ahead and grab this, put it over here on top. There we go. And let go of that. And now I only want to grab the text and bring it forward. There we go. There's the text. So I want to bring the text position all the way forward. So I guess it is forward and it's not showing up very well because of this lighter color. So let's go ahead and change the color of that text to be maybe this dark one. There we go. Okay. So now you can see that this kind of has a different feel, but yet they're similar enough, right? So if you saw this and you had a third one, you could make a really nice pattern on your Instagram grid so that it's kind of going back and forth. I'm not real good at that all the time, but you can see that. So it's basically changing the feel a little bit, but yet still keeping it there. If you don't like that particular thing, you don't have to do that. Okay, so now I'm gonna, anything you don't like, you don't do, right? You just say, nah. I'm going to grab this and yeah, I wanted to replace that texture and because I wanted to add just a little bit of color to it. So now we have these 3 related ones and we'll put playing with tech in Canva. That's what we'll write in here. Playing with tech logo. Oops. Logo in Canva. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and center that. And I can do that with that. And then once I get it centered, I can copy that and then go on down here and paste it. Delete this one first. Okay, I've got that. I need to select it and then I hit delete and then I paste. And it did not paste, which means it didn't copy. So I'm going to go copy again and then go down to my next one and paste. And it's pasting it on top. And it looks like it threw that logo to the back. So let's make sure that this layer here is locked. It is. Let's lock this layer. Let's pop this back up. And let's lock that layer. Now let's do our paste. Okay, so now we didn't change anything. We just did our paste. I want to change that to the black font because it's easier to read. So you've got the light on dark. You've got the dark on light. And the same thing here. You would change out the text. So let me go copy copy this text. And, oh, I want to copy it in the dark though. Copy. And then 1, 2, 3. I'm tapping 3 times and then do a select all and pasting. And then I want to go ahead and recenter that. Now I didn't have to recenter the one right before it because, oh gosh, my trackpad does not want to let go of things today. This one I didn't have to recenter because it automatically centered because of the way I copied and pasted the text box, the whole box, rather than just the words. When I did the words and pasted them in, you noticed that it kind of was just went from where it was down. So you had to then align it to the center. And I aligned it by moving it and watching for the lines. You can also go up here under the 3 dots and you can go to position and you can align it here. So that's another option and way to align it. Okay, so I hope that you can see what I'm talking about. Anyone have any questions or thoughts in the room? I know a lot of people are probably watching over on YouTube. Does anyone have any YouTube questions over there for us?
No questions on YouTube.
All righty. And then you can see that this one is completely different feel and look than these. And if you wanted to have like an outdoors look, we could actually go for photos here. We can go into photos. And within photos, I'm going to look for outdoors. Let's see what we have for outdoors photos. So, and this has kind of got that green in it. So let's pull that over and pop that in there and see what we think. No, not quite. This one? Yes. This has that green, that same color green that I've got happening up here. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the opposite with this one. I'm going to create a green box. So I'm going to go back to elements, create a green box. So let me go to box, or actually I just want a square. Oh, I'm going to pop it there, and then I want to change it to this green color. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull this up again so that it's filling out these spaces. And like I said, my trackpad does not want to let go. I need to tap to let go. Okay. All right. So now we have that green. So we could just leave it like that with the colors around the background. You don't have to do anything different, or you can go ahead and do what we did before. So let's do one like that, and then we'll do a second one. And this one here, we'll go ahead and change the transparency of, I'm actually going to duplicate this twice. Okay. So this first one here, we're going to change the transparency of the front color. Okay, so that it's still kind of coming through and you can see everything. And then you can write on it in the dark color. And then this one here, we're going to change the transparency of, we're going to actually pull this, position this to the back. I don't know if it will let me. I want to pull this forward. Kind of wanted to do the opposite, so I think I've got to go grab that photo again. So let me go back over to photos, and let's grab that photo and pop it on top here. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we're going to pop it on top, and we're going to go ahead and make it bigger. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and change the transparency there. Yeah, so you've got just kind of a little bit different look, right? Because you've got, okay, undo. And then I'm going to select everything and lock it all. So I'm going to lock everything so that it doesn't change. Okay. All right. So now it won't matter where I type. It'll, oh, it did. It did it anyway. Darn you. Darn you. Okay. Let's select all and group this. Undo. Anytime you see it do that, just undo it because that's not what you're wanting it to do. Or at least that's not what I'm wanting it to do right now. So I'm going to try to grab it all here. And I'm going to group it. Undo. I do not know why my... Okay, so I'm going to group that together. I'm going to move it. It's not grouped with that item below it. It is not grouped with the item below it. Tiggs, where are you when I need you? Okay, since my trackpad must be running low on batteries, I'm going to position it with the center here. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this. I'm going to hold the shift key down, and then I'm going to try to grab the item below it. Tiggs was telling me the other day how to grab the item down below it. Oh, she's not in the room either. Everybody's gone. Position backwards. I'm going to grab this. It is locked already, so that's interesting. Okay. I'm not going to keep fooling with this. I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to let it go because we have ended up with a third look here. See how all three of these have slightly different looks? So, but yet you would have it similar. And then it would be really easy to like create these and have different quotes on them. And then if you wanted to kind of change it up a little bit, it's super easy to do that. We want to keep with this kind of lighter color here, right? Or that green in it. So we want to make sure that whatever we bring over has that green in it. So let me undo this and duplicate it. Come on. It's hard to do when my computer's acting up. Okay, there we go. So now we've got like a different look here where you're just changing the background and you're changing the look and the feel. If you've got puppy lovers or if you've got people that are traveling, that in and of itself can. So the pictures you use, the colors that you use, how you integrate them together, it gives you that look and that feel. And once you've decided on your look and your feel and you've created your templates, you can create super, super fast by having them ready to go, changing out the text, and away you go. So I hope this has been super helpful today. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to send us a message, and we will see you next week for another demo. Blessings to you all. I'm going to end the stream.